Okay, think about this for a second. We use numbers every single day, right? But have you ever stopped to think about their story? It's honestly one of the most incredible tales of human ingenuity, an invention that literally built the modern world we live in. I mean, really, why does the symbol for two look like a two? We just kind of accept it. But these symbols weren't just discovered somewhere under a rock, they had to be invented. So the question is, how on earth did we get from, well, nothing, to the system we all use today?
Well, our story starts with something that looks like an ancient secret code, but it's not. These are actually numbers from Mesopotamia from thousands of years ago. So the big puzzle is, how did we get from this to the numbers that power everything from your phone to launching rockets into space?
But before we even get to the symbols themselves, we have to back up and ask an even more basic question. Why did humans even need to count in the first place? What was the point?
You see, the need to count is as old as we are. And we're not talking about complex math here. This was all about survival. Stone Age humans needed to know, hey, do we have enough food for the winter? Or are all the animals in the herd here? It was about making sure a trade was fair. It was about organizing society, keeping track of rituals, and even just watching the days go by. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you're a farmer, maybe 10,000 years ago. You let your herd of cows out to graze in the morning. How do you know for sure that every single one came back at night? You can't just eyeball it, right? Especially if you have a big herd. This really simple, practical problem led to one of the most important ideas in all of mathematics. The solution they came up with is something called one-to-one mapping. Now, that sounds a little technical, but it is beautifully simple. All you do is match every single thing you're counting, like a cow, with one unique marker, like a stick or a pebble. That's it, right there. As the cows leave in the morning, you put one stick in a pile for each cow. When they come back at night, you take one stick away for each one that returns. If you have sticks left over, Houston, we have a problem. Some cows are missing. It's a perfect, foolproof system, and it is the absolute bedrock of all counting. Okay, so we know why we started counting, but what about those 10 little symbols we use today? 0 through 9? Well, their story is amazing. They went on this incredible, globe-trotting journey to get to us. And believe me, this was not an overnight success story. The whole system, including a symbol for 0, which was revolutionary, was first recorded in India way back around the 3rd century. Arab scholars saw how brilliant it was and adopted it. But then it took centuries for it to travel to Europe. And even then, people like the mathematician Fibonacci had to fight for it, trying to convince everyone it was better than those clunky Roman numerals. It took over 1,000 years for this idea to finally conquer the world. This long journey also led to a little bit of naming confusion. Because European scholars got the system from the Arab world, they called them Arabic numerals. Makes sense. But Arab scholars themselves, they called them Hindu numerals, to honor where they actually came from, India. So today, you'll often hear the term Hindu-Arabic numerals, which is a nice way to give credit to both the origin and the incredible journey the idea took. So what was the secret sauce? What made this system so powerful that it eventually replaced every other way of writing numbers? The secret ingredient is a really cool concept called a base. I mean, just look at this. How would you even begin to multiply these two numbers using the ancient Egyptian system? It's a mess, isn't it? It's clunky, it's confusing, and it's super difficult to work with. This is exactly the problem that the Hindu-Arabic system solved with this elegant, beautiful simplicity. And the solution is the base system. The idea is, instead of making up a new symbol for every bigger and bigger number, you just pick one number to be your base. For us, it's 10. And then you build everything from there. So all our landmark numbers, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, they're all just powers of 10. Simple. Okay, let's see how this works. Let's forget about base 10 for a second and just pretend we live in a base 5 world. So our landmark numbers would be powers of 5. 1, then 5, then 25, then 125, and so on. Now, if we wanted to write the number 143, we just see how many of each landmark fits inside it. So there's 125, 0 25s, 3 5s, and 3 1s. It's just like making change. And this simple logic works for any number you can think of, using any base. And of course, this is exactly what our number system does every single day. We use a base 10 system, which is also called the decimal system. That deci part literally means 10.
It's that simple, powerful logic of the base that makes our numbers work so incredibly well. So when you put all these pieces together, you start to realize the system that started in India isn't just a useful little tool. It is truly one of the greatest inventions in all of human history. So what really makes it so special? Well, first, there's place value. The 2 in 200 is worth way more than the 2 in 20, right? Second, it only needs 10 symbols, and that includes the total game changer, the idea of zero. And with just those 10 digits, you can write any number you can possibly imagine. And maybe most importantly, it makes math, like multiplication, unbelievably efficient compared to those clunky old systems. The famous mathematician Pierre-Simon Laplace, he just captured it perfectly. He said, the whole idea seems so simple to us now that we just don't appreciate how incredibly important it was. Its real genius is the fact that we totally take it for granted today. And really, that's the whole story. It starts with a Stone Age farmer who just needed a better way to count livestock, and it ends with us being able to calculate the path to another planet. It all comes back to the incredible journey of these 10 simple, powerful symbols. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other seemingly simple idea is out there, maybe right under our noses, that has completely changed the world we live in? That's something to think about. Thanks so much for diving into this with me.